everyone, it's Christine. Welcome to ParanormalTV. If you're new, welcome back if you're not. Today we are going to be discussing my picks for a Halloween must-watch list. Not scary edition. Stay tuned for a scary edition soon, because here at ParanormalTV we are just all about the booze. Get it? Now, okay, moving on. I do have a series in this that I'm going to talk about, and then the rest are movies, and I do want to go ahead and talk about the series first, and then I'm going to talk about the obvious choices, and then I'm going to talk about the other ones that I think you all should check out. This list is kind of long as well. I do want to point that out. This is a long list, but don't judge me. I like a lot of non-scary Halloween movies, apparently. So the most perfect Halloween series to watch, in my opinion, during Halloween time is Are You Afraid of the Dark? Show as a kid, and I know this is based off a show for children that children will view as scary, but as an adult you won't view it as too terrifying. It has some creepy elements for sure, and that's what made it so wonderful when we were children. And it's so fun to have your kids join in and watch this if they can handle scary stuff. I know some children cannot. I hope your kids can, because I mean, this is so amazing. Who would not want to watch Are You Afraid of the Dark with their kids? You know what I'm saying? If I had children, best believe we'd be watching Are You Afraid of the Dark together. Next one is The Haunting Hour. This is something my brother and I used to watch all the time together when he was young, and I actually really enjoyed it. This is by R.L. Stine, and there are books of The Haunting Hour, just like Goosebumps. This is a little bit more scary than Goosebumps. It's like next level. Just so you guys know, some children may feel a little bit too scared to watch this if they are too young, but this is not by any means a horror movie, but it is a little bit scarier than Goosebumps, which is my third series that I think is perfect for Halloween. And you know what? Don't judge me. Sometimes I watch Goosebumps still. Why not? The fourth one is The Twilight Zone. The original Twilight Zone is the best one. Some of the remakes I find are okay, but honestly the original is where it's at. I have a lot of favorites of the Twilight Zone of specific episodes, and I could do a video of my favorite Twilight Zone episodes if you guys like. Let me know down below. But this is a great show for, you know, anybody who's a little bit older, whether you are a teenager or an adult and you want to watch something that's a little more sophisticated. Go ahead and check out The Twilight Zone if you haven't. I don't know many people who haven't seen The Twilight Zone though. So my fifth series is Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I absolutely adore Sabrina. I loved Melissa Joan Hart growing up, and I still love Melissa Joan Hart growing up. If I ever met her, I definitely would fangirl over Melissa Joan Hart. Sabrina is just such a fun, lighthearted series to watch, and it's just something that you can put on when you've had a stressful day to de-stress, and it makes you feel less anxious, and I love it. So the last series I want to talk about is Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction. You can actually watch this on YouTube, and if you have never watched Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction, you should. It's awesome. It's one of my all-time favorite shows. This was a show you could watch and you could guess which stories were fact and which stories were fiction. They told you at the end of the show which ones were real and which ones were false, and you would be surprised upon what ones were real at times. It was shocking. Okay, so I feel like I have three obvious movie choices, and the first one, you guys all know, it's going to be Hocus Pocus. How could Hocus Pocus not be on this list? I think Hocus Pocus is the greatest Halloween movie to have ever existed. It is so amazing, and it's funny, and the cast is wonderful, and the storyline is amazing and interesting and unique, and there's never been anything quite like Hocus Pocus. Now I want to talk about Halloween Town. Again, one of the best Halloween movies in the entire world. Halloween Town is probably number 2. Like, looking at Halloween Town and looking at Hocus Pocus, like, I love Halloween Town probably just as much as I love Hocus Pocus, but the superior movie is probably Hocus Pocus. But Halloween Town is so amazing, and Aggie kind of reminds me of my grandmom a little bit, so that's always fun for me. And my grandma and I love to watch Halloween Town together. I like the first 3. The 4th one you don't even need to bother watching. So the first 3 are pretty good. The 3rd one is definitely the least favorite of mine, other than the 4th one. But I still like it. It still gives me fun vibes, and I still like to watch it. But the first one is truly the best, and I like the second one quite a bit as well. Okay, I want to talk about Susie Q. I really hope other people watching this remember Susie Q. If you remember Susie Q, let me know down below. I will be so excited because no one really remembers this movie when I talk to them. This is the movie that starred, I don't know what her real name was, but Kimberly from the Power Rangers, the Pink Ranger. She was a ghost, and this gave such good, fun, spooky vibes, and I love vintage things, and she was a ghost from the 50s, I believe. So this movie just like really called out to me because I loved anything ghost related. I love vintage things, so I kind of got the best of both worlds. You had like more of a modern time that you could relate to while watching this movie. It's not very modern now, but back then it was. And you had the vintage vibe that you just loved so much and you never could get enough of. And then Ghost. Like, need I say more? Don't Look Under the Bed was one of the best Disney Channel movies ever. Okay? The boogeyman in this movie was actually creepy. I loved it. I loved the makeup. I loved the acting. It was funny. It was on point. And when you were little, it was a little bit creepy, but in a good way. This is still a movie that I watch every year. It does come out. Sometimes they have it on demand. You just have to search for these movies. You really have to search. You can find some of them online. So I recommend searching your cable provider, seeing when they air. And keep searching because it only shows up to a certain point in time. So keep on searching throughout the month of October, and also look online, see if you can find any of these movies. When Good Goals Go Bad. So I love Christopher Lloyd. I'm a big Christopher Lloyd fan. Back to the Future was like my jam as a child. I still love Back to the Future. I'm a big Christopher Lloyd fan. He's in When Good Goals Go Bad. This is a funny movie. This is an entertaining movie. This isn't scary, but this is such a good Halloween movie. It's so underrated. The Initiation of Sarah, the first one and the second one, are both on this list. The Initiation of Sarah was a made-for-TV movie starring Morgan Fairchild. It's like a cult classic. It's hard to find people who have actually seen it, but if you look it up on the interweb, there are a lot of fans of The Initiation of Sarah, and I am one of them. I think it was a really fun movie, really interesting movie. But the second one, the one that they remade on ABC Family several years ago, was my absolute favorite one. And I normally tend to go for the original versus the remake. But the remake of The Initiation of Sarah was just amazing. It was fun. It was a little creepy. It was definitely a movie that kind of shocked you that was a made-for-TV movie, because I thought it was really good. Tower of Terror is one of those movies that I adored growing up. It was one of those movies that just captivated me to another extent. I loved the storyline. It involves ghosts, so I was all about it. Tower of Terror was a very well executed movie in my opinion. It's just so well done, and even though it's not scary, it's a little spooky, and it's just gonna entertain so many people of so many different ages, and it's hard to do that often. It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Who doesn't like Charlie Brown? I mean, I'm sure there's people out there. I think it's very few. Charlie Brown's a classic character to watch in general. The Fate on the Megaplex. Okay, so when I watched The Fate on the Megaplex as a child, I loved it. I was obsessed with it. And watching it as an adult, I don't quite like it as much as I did when I was young, but it brings back all the good vibes for me, so I watch it every year because it just brings back a million wonderful memories. Same thing with Suzy Q. Suzy Q is one of those movies where I sit there and I watch and I feel like a child again, and I feel very happy and lighthearted, and I feel good. So that's what the Phantom Megaplex does for me in particular. A lot of people are still massive fans of this movie, though. I think it's a Halloween movie that your child is definitely going to be entertained. I don't know any children who haven't watched the Phantom Megaplex and didn't like it. So it's one that you can watch with your kid, and your kid's going to be very well entertained. And you don't have to worry about them watching anything spooky or anything like that. And also, it will keep your attention. It's not terrible. It's not one of those movies where you're watching and you're like, oh, please shoot me now. Like when my brother used to watch Austin and Ally, like she just sighed. She like expressed how I felt. So I meant to talk about The Nightmare Before Christmas with the obvious ones, and I don't know why I didn't. Fun fact, I did not see The Nightmare Before Christmas up until a few years ago, and that was because my mom never let me watch it. She always thought it was evil for some reason. I don't know why. So I was not allowed to watch Nightmare Before Christmas for the longest time until as an adult I watched it. So a few years ago I had watched it. I sat down and was like, you know what? I'm going to watch Nightmare Before Christmas because I know it's not evil and I'm an adult and I haven't watched it, and I don't know why I haven't watched it, why it took so long for me to go ahead and watch this. But as a child, like, it was not allowed on our TV. I don't know why my mom thought it was evil, but she did. Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire is one of my favorite Disney Channel Halloween movies. I, again, watch this movie every single year. It's got Caroline Rhea in it from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. It's got Mr. Sheffield in it from The Nanny. It's such a throwback for me. I love it. I think it's entertaining. I think it's funny. I like the characters. I like the storyline. So this is something that I watch every single year. Under Wraps is something that I loved so much as a child. So again, it's that brings back such good vibes and de-stresses me type of movie. But it has a mummy in it as well. And I don't know, mummy to me is like such a throwback. You don't see that in too many movies other than The Mummy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not depicted very often in media today. And so it's such a throwback for me. I really like that Disney Channel had did a movie with The Mummy. And I love the feel of the movie. So I watch it again every single year. Happy Death Day was supposed to be a horror movie, I believe. It's not very horror. Like, in fact, there's not a lot of Halloween vibes in it, but I just think it's a fun movie to watch around this time of year. It's actually funny. I watched it going in knowing it wasn't going to be scary, and knowing I wasn't going to be dust, knowing I wasn't going to be able to watch this as a horror movie, but I watched it as a comedy. Oh my gosh, so much dust. But I watched it as a comedy, and I really enjoyed it. So when you go in there with that mindset that it's going to be a funny movie, I think you'll enjoy it too. So The Addams Family is a classic, something you need to watch around this time of the year. Also, I should throw in The Munsters for TV series. Why didn't I think of putting The Munsters in? I love The Munsters. I used to watch this with my grandfather as a child. So really, I'm like disappointed in myself for not thinking that until just now. Like, oh, Christine, really? Watch The Munsters around this time of year as well. Hotel Transylvania, I know, okay, I know this is meant for really young people, and I know that a lot of my lists had been meant for younger viewers. Don't judge me though, I love Disney, okay? And Hotel Transylvania was a really good Disney movie, so go watch it. It's perfect for around this time of year. Same with Frankenweenie and Monster House. I thoroughly enjoy Monster House. Like, I love Monster House, actually. Great movie. Go watch it. One of my all-time favorite Disney Channel movies is The Scream Team. I think that this is so funny, and I think it's so underrated. My brother also loves this movie, and again, we always watch this together. And it's something that they do put on, but you have to search for it. So again, make sure you're searching for this movie if you're curious to watch it. But there's these two kids, Claire and Ian, whose grandfather passes away and his soul has not moved on. And then they stumble upon this ghost wait station, I believe they refer it as, where the ghosts go there, and that's where they wait to move on. They go through a whole process and they move on to the other side, and they stumble upon this and they get these ghosts to help them fight this other ghost called Zachary Cole. And I don't know if I'm explaining it very well. I'm probably not. At least he's jumping down, so. But it's a great movie. It's really funny. Go check it out. What is her name? She played Hocus Pocus. Let's look it up real quick. Kathy Najimy. She played Mary. She played the Sister Mary on Hocus Pocus. She also played in Sister Act. She's on there. She's a really fun character, so I would go check that out. If I were you, make sure you search for it so you don't miss it, because it's a good movie. It's an underrated movie. Sorry, I'm trying to get my list back up. Alright, so Teen Witch is such a good movie that so many people have not seen, and I adore Teen Witch. I don't know how many of you are watching it that have seen it, but if you really like 80s movies, check out Teen Witch. You're not going to be disappointed. It's definitely really fun. This teen discovers that she's a witch and she has magical powers, and she's using them for the first time, and it's just a fun movie. Another really fun movie is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I know a lot of people don't like this nearly as much as they like the series because it is so different, but I like the movie quite a bit. I think that it's funny. I think it's entertaining. I like the acting quite a bit. I think that it is such a fun movie to watch, especially this time of the year. It definitely gives off spooky vibes, but it's funny. It's not scary at all. It just kind of gives off that spooky vampire vibe, but it makes fun of it as well. So it's a fun movie. Doing along with this. So Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the movie, the one that started it all. It started off as a TV movie, then became a show, and the movie was great. It was so good. It's different from the TV show. It definitely is, but it's not different enough that if you have seen the TV show that you'll feel like, I don't want to watch this. I'm too loyal to the TV show. Like, no, it's different enough to enjoy it as a movie, but not different enough to like interfere with your views on the TV show. And Melissa Joan Hart is in it, so, and Jenny, and I loved Jenny, although her name is Marnie, I believe, in the movie, which I don't know why they changed her name, but Jenny from the series is in it, and I really liked her. She was my favorite friend that Sabrina had, my favorite best friend that Sabrina had. So I reached the end of my list. Let me know your favorite Halloween movies to watch that aren't scary, because we will be talking about my favorite horror movies to watch this time of year in another video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your favorite Halloween movies, things that you watch every year, things that you watch for your kids, because I do have 3 nephews and a niece. That was my dog, sorry. I do have 3 nephews and a niece, so I try to keep it kid friendly quite a bit as well. I like to really have fun with Halloween time around this time of year with them. I like to really incorporate them in a lot of things that I'm doing. So let me know your favorite things to watch with your kids as well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!